Hey there, it's Claire here and welcome to today's vlog. And I'm really excited to be chatting with you guys today because I want to talk about something that I think is going to resonate with quite a few of you out there. It is something at least that really resonates with me. And it's the very simple idea of being imperfectly perfect. Or perfectly imperfect, I guess I should say. And it's about, in a nutshell, it's about celebrating the fact that in life we are moving through darker spots. We are always kind of working through mud, or we're dealing with something that maybe is not quite shiny or perfect on the outside. Or the person that we are at this very moment is imperfect when we talk about comparing ourselves against other people that we deem to be perfect. And the point is, let's start to celebrate and play in that imperfect state and to really get dirty and get down with being imperfect as the person that we are and in the situations that we're faced with and with people that we interact with. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is when we embrace being imperfect, it gives us a lot more permission to be playful. It gives us permission to see life as an experiment, something that we're constantly playing with and something that we are, in an experiment with. We are joyfully getting in amongst it and just seeing what happens. When we are embracing imperfection, which to be honest is what we all are all imperfect. There is no real symmetry to life. There is no real symmetry to any individual out there, including yourself. And when we are kind of right in there and completely embracing being imperfect, and we're doing imperfection as perfectly as we possibly could, which is to just be that without any boundaries, without any rules, without any guidance, I think we're actually starting to open up more to life in that state. And I guess what I'm trying to say here is I see this come up a lot with my clients, this idea of reaching and striving for perfection. And the perfection that we're reaching and striving for on a daily basis is just, it's not real. It doesn't exist. And as sad as it might be to hear this, it's not possible. Because there is no measurement of perfection that is across the board and definitive and written in stone. It is kind of completely subjective. What I consider to be perfect for me and my life is completely imperfect to you. So if that's the case, which hand on heart I believe to be true, then wouldn't it just take a whole lot of pressure and weight off your shoulders to just be playful and actually just be dirty and messy with life? Just get into it. And every single day that you make a mistake, or that it's not quite as shiny as you hoped it would be, or it came with a whole series of challenges that you just could never have anticipated, isn't that perfection? Isn't that perfection in that you're constantly learning, and in that you're actually alive, and that you're living, and that you are experiencing everything to the fullest for whatever that is for you at that moment? So this is, I guess, an invitation for you to drop the perfectionism and to drop the striving for everything to be just so, and to completely let go of the idea that you will become somebody good enough, or that your life will be good enough once you reach perfection, and actually see that in this playfulness, in this imperfection of your daily life, that actually is exactly what you need, and that actually is you reaching the enough, that you are experiencing enough just in exactly what it is. This kind of boils right down to acceptance, accepting you for your own imperfections, accepting your imperfections as perfect, and realizing that it's time to really herald and to really serenade and to really appreciate and to completely love the asymmetry of yourself and the life that you're in. And that kind of gets me to swing the word imperfection around to actually be perfect. Because when we say, let's appreciate our imperfections, we're still kind of implying that our imperfections are a negative. And I don't really see it like that. So it's about having a completely different perspective on what we call imperfect and realizing that imperfect means perfect. Imperfect is exactly right for you. And the asymmetry of life is just so awesome. So this is about giving you permission to drop the perfectionism, giving you permission to let go of the striving for an ideal and for a vision and for a somebody better or a some life that's better, and actually just completely love and appreciate and celebrate all of this moment with all of its perfectly imperfect elements. And you know what else is really awesome about getting comfortable with your imperfections and living from them and appreciating them is that when we are comfortable with our own imperfections, we judge everyone else a whole lot less. And we're not continuously judging others based on their imperfections. And I think I've mentioned this a couple of times on my blog, and there's been a few newsletters that I've sent out where I've touched on these, but there's a whole lot of judgment flying around at the moment. And it's fascinating to me, and I think maybe it's coming to me because it's something that I still completely need to work through. But who am I to completely judge anybody else for whatever it is that they're doing in their life when I still haven't completely addressed myself? So let's embrace our own imperfections, embrace our own faults, embrace our own flaws, work through them, make peace with them. And then we actually might find that that judgment we feel towards other people no longer exists. We're not affected by what other people are doing or saying or how they're behaving, because we sort of see the world through the lens of imperfection. And that's not to say we see the world in a negative way. We're just probably seeing the world in a much more real way. When we're looking through the lens of judgment or perfectionism, we're not probably seeing what's really going on. We're probably seeing everything, you know that saying, rose-colored glasses. Everything's kind of got a bit of a haze of the ideal over it, but it's not quite real or it's not quite true. It's not a proper visual. So, an added bonus, get comfortable with your imperfections and get comfortable with everybody else and their imperfections. And you find that by dropping that judgment, that you're feeling like you're in a much more easy, in the flow, at peace space, because you're no longer focused on the negative within you or the negative within other people. So that's just an extra bonus tip for you as well. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And it might seem like a slightly confusing topic. God knows it was hard for me to get my head completely around what I was trying to express to you today. But I would love to hear from you. I would really, really appreciate hearing from you. What is currently labeled as imperfect in your life or in yourself at the moment, probably by yourself? And how could you switch that around so that you're actually starting to play in that imperfection and celebrate it and use it more and actually harness that imperfection for yourself even more? So share in the comments below. And anything else that you would love to include, feel free to. I always love to hear your stories and to hear how this translates for you in your life. Okay guys, so much love to you. Thanks for listening. Bye.